In this session, we will cover what is ngSwitch and ngSwitchCase structural directive and how we can use it in our AngularJS application.
Hello friends, welcome to our channel WaveTutorials and you are watching AngularJS full tutorial session. And also I request you to, if you have still not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe to it and don't forget to click on that notification bell icon. So let's start with today's session.
ngSwitch directive allow you to add or remove HTML element based on expression value. ngSwitch contain multiple sections to check the value received, and based on the value received, the required element will display on DOM. ngSwitch is actually a combination of two directives. One is attribute directive, which is ngSwitch, and the structural directive, which is ngSwitchCase and ngSwitch default. The syntax of ngSwitch and switchcase is: ngSwitch first check the value in given expression, and then based on that value it check for the concerned case in it. If it found any relevant case, then that element will load on DOM, and if nothing matched with the defined cases, then default case will execute. So let's open Visual Studio Code and see an example of ngSwitch and ngSwitchCase structural directive. Here we have our default AngularJS project, which is already running on port 4200. So let's open our default app component, and also let's open its source file. Let me close this Explorer, and first of all let's create a div where we apply the ngSwitch. So let's create a div here and set an attribute ngSwitch and pass expression value to him, like let's set it as name, and we also have to add this property here and pass a default value, which is for now null. Also let's add few switch cases here within the div element, and here we need to add a sign of asterisk and ngSwitchCase, and based on the value received in this variable name, we will display this case. Like we will receive a string value here, so we need to use this single quote here, and within single quote we have to add a value which is expected. Like for example, if the value received as O and if 1, then this will display you selected 1. And the same way we have to another switch case. One is for 2 and 3. And also let's apply a default case where we do not require anything to match, and just we need to add this as ngSwitch default, and we need to change the string value here as invalid input. So let's save it, and you can see that right now the value in this name variable is null and nothing matches, and it will display this div as invalid input. If I make it as let's add it in a constructor, this dot name equal to, and let's set it to, save it, and it will display you selected 2 as we have defined the case here. So also let's see what is the difference between this ngSwitch case and the switch cases in TypeScript file. So let's create a scenario where we need to click on a radio button, and this will automatically check the case and display the required text. So for this, let's first of all create a radio button here. For this we need to use the input button, and let's give him a name as set value type equal to radio, and we need here to call a click event and call a method like set name and set its value to like 1, and let's close it. Now let's give him a name as well, 1. Same way, let's create 3 another, 2, 3 and none, and here let's pass value 2, 3, and for none we can pass 0 or null, so let's pass it 0. So now let's create this method here, set name, which will receive the name, or you can see, or you can say ID, which will be of number. And in TypeScript the syntax is switch, and the same way we will receive the expression value ID, and now we have to apply the cases here. Cases: if the value is received as 1, then it should set this dot name equal to 1, and then break the case here, and the same way let's create 2 another cases, 2, 2, and for 3 it's 3. Also we can apply our default case here, which I told you that doesn't require to check any value. You can simply return an object from here, and this dot name equals to null, and now set it break keyword here. So let's remove this from constructor. Let's save it. Here is a spelling mistake. DFAUST is the default keyword. Let's also change this, save the file, and you can see that by default the value is received as the null value. That's why the default switch is executed. And if I click on this one, then this one, when I click on this one, the set name method will pass the value 1, and this switch case received the case 1 and set the value in this name variable as onu1, and the same will then received with this ngSwitchCase 1, and it displayed this you selected 1. Like you can see, when I click on 2, it displayed you selected 2, and on 3 it display you selected 3. And when I click on none, it displayed the invalid input, which executes the default structural directive. So as per your requirement, you can use the ngSwitchCase either with this the AngularJS provided us or the TypeScript provided us. So we have covered ngSwitch and ngSwitchCase structural directive with a practical session. So if you have any query, just write a comment in comment box, or you can also write to me at wavetutorial@outlook.com. I also request you to, if you have still not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe to it and also like this video. My name is Naveen, and thank you for watching this tutorial.